Yeah, so I wanted to hop on for a couple of reasons. One, I have had this whole new influx of followers over the last couple of weeks, and I think a variety of reasons. One, Healy brings a lot of new people into my life, and now that I've sort of taken on that leadership role inside of Healy, like that's bringing a lot of new people into my sphere of influence. And then I've been doing some guesting on different podcasts, and then the podcast, I think, has been bringing in lots of new people from all over the world, which is really incredible. So, one of the first things I'll just say is if you're new to me, if you're new, definitely tell me who you are. If this is your first time watching, your first time being here live with me, would love to know who you are and where you're watching from. But welcome to the community, and I'm so happy to have you. But I wanted to get on and talk a little bit about a couple of things, and one is that the new timeline is waiting. Like, what are you waiting for? Why are you still stuck in this old paradigm of fear and lack and scarcity? So I definitely do want to talk about that. But I also want to share a little bit about who I am and what my philosophy is and why I even do what I do. Why do I podcast? Why do I come on these live streams? For me, what's the why and what's the point? So Sandy's watching from Brisbane. Welcome. I'm a wealth consciousness coach, obviously. And maybe not obviously if you've just barely started following me, but I'm a wealth consciousness coach, and I am hugely passionate about helping people deconstruct financial slavery consciousness. And I really, my mission, my divine mission on this planet is to help emancipate as many people as possible from financial slavery consciousness and help them into this new timeline where they have the ability to really embrace and experience abundance in all areas of their life, right? And I think abundance is this buzzword, right, that is so overused. And when I talk about abundance, I'm talking about states of overflow. I'm talking about states of overflow in all areas of your life. And for me, when I say that I believe it is your divine birthright to be wealthy, I mean in all areas of your life, because the word wealthy literally comes from two words, well and healthy. So it is your divine birthright to be well and healthy in all areas of your life, including financially. So I'm a little bit different than your average wealth consciousness coach, because I don't only have offerings, I don't only do programs about money. And mindset and how to mindset your way to riches and abundance. That's just not who I am. I take a much more systemic approach to money, wealth, and abundance. I like to look at things from an elemental perspective. I like to look at things from a whole body perspective. And I really, those of you that have worked with me in my program Ouroboros, know how important I feel that deconstructing programming and conditioning is, and clearing stuck and stagnant emotions from our inner elements, so our organs, and also at a cellular and DNA level, and also ancestrally. So a lot of the work that I do is emotional clearing work that does that creates openness and space in our ability to experience life from a objective point of view instead of a conditioned and programmed point of view. So I'm a little bit different that way. And if I'm running a program or I have an offer that's out in the world, it's because I believe that ultimately it will lead to your emancipation from financial slavery consciousness. It will lead to you embracing your divine birthright, which is to be wealthy in all areas of your life. And so that's why I do what I do. That is the purpose behind all the things that I do. And so, I day to day am scrolling Facebook and kind of, I don't spend a lot of time doing that, but I do like to have a gauge, a barometer of what's happening in the world. And I continue to just see people choosing the old timeline, choosing to remain wrapped up and caught up in lack mentality and scarcity and fear. And the reason that I say choosing is obviously I have a lot of compassion for people that have a tremendous amount of programming and conditioning. And once we've been programmed and conditioned to a certain extent, until we dive in and really do that deep work and deconstruct that programming and conditioning, at some level we are operating almost on autopilot a lot of the time. And so I have a lot of compassion for those people that still have a lot of programming and conditioning. But I say choose because in each moment, each and every one of us get to choose our actions. And those actions are things like, are you choosing to turn on the news every night and buy hook, line, and sinker what the media is feeding you? Are you choosing to get into heated debates with people on Facebook whose views oppose your own? Are you choosing to allow the fear tactics of the media and of our governments to perpetuate your own fear story, to perpetuate your own, are you reinforcing your programming and conditioning by choosing to opt into those things? And I'm blown away at the number of people that I highly respect, that I have looked up to in their particular fields, who are doing this, who are choosing to stay in the old timeline by choosing to interact with the fear pandemic. And so while we may not have a lot of choice in how we're responding in certain situations based upon our programming and conditioning, we do have choice in each moment of every day how we are engaging in the old paradigm and in the old timeline. So if you have an awareness that there's a new timeline and you have an awareness that you want to move into it, I think somebody said, like, what if I don't have the money? It's not about having the money. It's about minding your mind and minding your mouth and minding your fingers, right, as well. And making conscious choice to not engage in the old paradigm. To not engage, at some level, we're all engaging in the old paradigm because we have to, because of how the financial systems and structures on this planet work. But what I mean is, in the cycle of control that is being implemented right now and that is being enforced upon all the beings on this planet, are you choosing to engage with that, or are you choosing to keep your sights on the new timeline and to shift your current reality to the place that you can move into that new timeline? So, and I talked about some of the ways that we're doing it and some of the ways that you can stop engaging, which is stop watching the news. You are fully able and capable to get on the internet for a couple minutes a day and find out what's happening in the world. From a very biased, very media fed to you perspective. You don't need to be watching hours of news. You don't need to be scrolling news sites on the internet or on Facebook. You don't need to allow that fear conditioning and programming to take hold of you. So that's a choice. There's a choice to opt out of that. At this point, I'm so far removed from a lot of what's happening because it's all bullshit. Like, literally, I'm just like, we are not being given a straight story about anything right now. And so part of the problem is that, and everybody knows this. At some level, everybody knows and feels this. Everybody feels what's the word I'm looking for? Everybody can feel that something isn't right. Everyone can feel that there is an incongruency in our reality and the information that's being given to us. So everyone can feel that. Regardless of what your position is on any of the issues, we all know that. We all know that the media is biased. We all know that we aren't being given factual, objective information. All the information that's coming to us is highly subjective. And you literally can go find a news channel or a media outlet to support your position, whatever your position is. So that's how I know it's all bullshit, right? And then what ends up taking up so much bandwidth is you, at a very cellular and human level, you can feel the incongruency. And so as a result of that, every time you get a piece of information from the media, or from Facebook, or from somewhere, I mean, the internet, whatever it is, at a soul level, you know that there's an incongruency. So what happens? Well, you start to try to pick apart what is accurate and what isn't. And then you're filling up your bandwidth, trying to figure out what of what you're hearing in the news or in the media is real and what is fake. And so you are taking up your very valuable bandwidth trying to discern shit from shinola, as my grandfather would say. Rest in peace. But literally that's what's happening, and it's ridiculous. So you're using some of your most valuable resources, your creative bandwidth, and your which then affects your emotions, and I mean, it affects all of your 5 bodies ultimately. But just choosing to opt out from filling up your bandwidth with trying to discern what's real and what's fake, and realizing that it's all fucking subjective, period. For me, I've moved to a place of, yes, I have a little bit of an awareness. I'm literally, like, for the most part, I'm not really focusing on what's happening in the media right now, because I know that something big is getting ready to come. There's another disclosure getting ready to come. And so right now I'm just like, this is all filler as far as I'm concerned. Whatever's happening right now in the world, it's all filler shit. Because there is a plan in place for how they are executing this fear pandemic that they're executing on the planet. And so there's another big thing coming in September. So right now I'm really not paying attention. But I do get on a couple of news sites. I do follow a couple of people. And how I allow myself to determine how I feel about it is in my body, at a soul level. If I read something and I'm like, is that true? Does it resonate? True? Yep, cool. And then I move on. Does it resonate? Not true? Nope. And then I move on. And I don't sit there and try to figure out, well, what is the truth if I'm not resonating with it? It's like, if I'm not resonating with it and it's not the truth, I just leave it behind and move on. I'm not going to sit there and spend my most valuable resource, which is my personal bandwidth, to my energy, right? To try to determine whether somebody's telling me a lie or not, when I know at a cellular soul level if it is or not. I can feel it in my body. So when we learn to do that, when we learn to tap into our innate knowing in what is truth or what is not, then we can move on, and we don't have to sit there and try to figure it out. So, that's one way. And the other thing that I see happening that I really encourage you, if you're doing this, to stop now and immediately, is if you are engaging on other people's posts trying to prove your point, especially if they've posted something and it is in opposition to one of your beliefs, and then you're commenting trying to prove your position. Why? What is the point? Literally, what? You are not going to change that person's mind. That person likely has an audience of people that agree with them, because we cultivate audiences that agree with us. So you posting your opposing thought or feeling on their post, all that's happening there is you're starting an argument that is going to take up your bandwidth and is going to take up your time. And if you are secure, and if you're operating from a soul level knowing place, you don't have the need to defend your position. There are a lot of things that I know are going on in the world because of divine downloads, because of foreshadowing, because of clairvoyant visions that I've been given, that I know are happening and that I know are going to happen. And I feel absolutely no need to tell people about them, to defend them, to defend a position if I see that somebody is talking about something that I know isn't right, or something that I know is going to be different in 2 weeks from now, and they're going to be like, whoa, what was I thinking? I have a soul knowing, I have an innate knowing, so I don't feel the need to defend myself. Like, I don't, my position is, it doesn't need to be defended. So if you find yourself getting into that defensive mode, really check yourself, because that is you engaging exactly as the global financial elite want you to engage. They want you defending your position. They want us at odds with each other. They want these enormous conflicts happening because it makes us easier to control. People who are emotionally charged are easier to control. So the more you're finding yourself emotionally charged, the more you're able to be programmed and conditioned. The more of your buttons are able to be pushed so that you can be easily manipulated and moved into whatever position on the chessboard they want you moved into. So check your emotional charge whenever it's happening. And nobody's perfect, right? I still get emotionally charged about shit. But when I do, I always have to look at it and be like, what is this about? What is this about? Why do I feel the need to defend this? I feel the need to defend it because I am not sure and secure in my position. Because if I was, it just is. It doesn't need defending. So those are the ways really that I can tell you to begin this shift into the new timeline is choice. Your choice in each moment of every day of how you are engaging in this global fuckery that is existing right now. Okay, I'm going to read some of these comments. 33. Thank you for your dedication to this. I'm experiencing abundance everywhere since meeting you. I love that, Amanda. Me too, Amanda. Since following Leah's advice, so many new doors open for me. Glad blessings are coming your way too. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Timeline discussions, yes. So easy to fall into. It's always proven that you can't change their opinion. We have to just be, and whoever is meant to see your side will see it. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, instead of going on somebody else's timeline and defending yourself on their post, if you have something to say, use your platform to say it. Go share your opinion on your platform, right? Like, why are you trying to change the mind of somebody else? It just doesn't even make sense to me. Your home is beautiful. Thank you. What should we be prepared for in September? Well, I'm getting ready to start sharing some more things in my free Telegram channel, the Wealth Witch channel. So if you're not in there, you definitely should head over to Telegram and subscribe to the Wealth Witch channel, which is my free channel. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to see wave 2 of coronavirus coming, potentially global lockdown, definitely many countries locked down in September, and then there's some other stuff happening that I am more comfortable probably talking about in the Telegram channel. So if you have not joined us over there, it's the Wealth Witch channel. Maybe someone could drop the link. So for me, Healy is a bridge between our very 3D reality and the quantum field. It's simply a tool. And it's a tool of self-awareness as well. So I love it. I use my Healy all the live long day. Link. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, Laura could probably do it. There's the Telegram channel, the Wealth Witch channel. And the podcast too. I mean, definitely listen to the podcast if you're not already following the podcast. It's on the Wealth Witch podcast on iTunes and in all the podcast places, iTunes, Spotify, all the places. So got some really cool guests coming up on the podcast. So if you're not already subscribed to that, definitely do that, because there's really epic people coming up over the next month or so. Yes, I'm really excited about it. You know, the other piece of this is that my frustration when I'm scrolling Facebook is I'm seeing how many people are actually meant to be, like, they already know their purpose work. They actually already know their divine mission work. They know what they're here to do. They know how important they are. But they're bullshitting around and choosing not to step into their purpose work, and they're using all of this shit as an excuse. So they're using coronavirus, they're using lockdowns, they're using limited movement, they're using their perceptions of what's happening with the global economy and their potential clients. They're coming up with every excuse in the book as to why they can't fully step into their purpose work. And that is the thing that infuriates me to no end, because more than ever right now, we need you doing your work in the world. And let me tell you something, it is not your fucking job to figure out whether or not your audience can afford your services. That is not your job. It is not, like, literally, I will say it again, it is not your fucking job to figure out whether or not the people in your community can afford your services. You have people in your community that can afford your services. And if you are in alignment when you are pricing your offers with your soul, right, and you're connected to source and you're pricing from that place, you don't need to worry about anything else. You need to just fucking show up and do your purpose work and stop making excuses for why you can't, including that you feel like your audience can't afford it. If an offer resonates with a person and they are meant to be in it, they will sign up for it. So for me, and if you're, there's so many things here like that I want to say. So I'm going to start with this. If you are offering your work in the world from a soul-aligned place, right? You are connecting to source on a daily basis. You are asking how you can be of service. You are willing to show up even when you don't feel like it and do your purpose work in the world because you know how important it is. If you are truly here to be a world changer or an impact maker, a global impact maker on this planet, and even if you're not doing it yet, right? Because I know that there's some fears around that, and that's okay. It's just not okay for you to continue to use what's happening globally to the collective as an excuse for you not stepping into your purpose work. So if you are approaching your purpose work from that place, right? If you are aligned and you have a connection with source and you are doing your own personal work and you are showing up for yourself, your gift that only you have, that only you can share the way that you can share it because you have a unique energy signature that only belongs to you. When you operate from that place and you release offers that are soul aligned and connected to source, the people that are meant to be in that program, they're already there and they will find you if you share it. It is not your job to figure out whether or not they can afford it. It is just not. And it is your job to continue to show up and do your work in the world. You will be supported. You will be supported by the universe if you show up and you do your work. The excuses that I'm seeing made all over the interwebs for why people can't do their purpose work, and I guess I'll also say the distractions, right? So I'm seeing these incredible people that I know are here to be world changers. I know already have created huge impact in the world. To see them getting distracted by this very predetermined set of occurrences that are happening on this planet right now and getting distracted and wrapped up in defending their positions on those things, I'm like, this is insanity. So now you're choosing to defend a position rather than doing your purpose work in the world. You're doing exactly what you have been programmed and conditioned to do. Not showing up in your power, not showing up in your purpose work, not sharing your gifts with the world, but instead jumping on these bandwagons where you're defending positions that are completely orchestrated, by the way. You have missed the boat. You are not doing the work that you are meant to do in the world. If you are finding yourself distracted and defending positions on other people's posts when you're meant to be out leading the world, changing the world, creating global impact, you need to fucking check yourself. We do not have the time, the time, really. Like, we do not have the time for you to be distracted defending somebody's political agenda. Like, we just don't. Are you a politician? Were you meant to be a politician? Is it your fucking purpose work to be a politician? No, then fucking leave the politics to the politicians. What are you meant to be doing? What is your work that you're meant to be doing in the world? Do that thing. Do that. And don't get distracted by all this other bullshit. If you focus on the work that you are meant to do in the world, and you only focus on that, and you put all the energy into your purpose work and into delivering your purpose work in the world that you're putting into like being distracted for hours a day, watching the news and on social media, change will actually occur and happen on this planet. But until we stop making choices to be distracted and we start making choices to actually do the thing that we're fucking here to do in the world, none of this is going to change. We, each and every one of us, each and every one of you watching this live stream, you have a key piece to play in how this whole thing unfolds. You get to make a choice. You get to decide if you're going to show up in purpose and do your purpose work in the world, or you're going to fucking get distracted and go, you know, on a rant about Donald Trump on somebody's fucking news feed. So, and that's neither here nor there about Donald Trump, but I mean, it's just like, honestly, like, come on. Unless that's your purpose work. Your purpose work might be to create disruption in the political party. And if that's the case, more power to you. Go fucking do your purpose work. But if your purpose work is in the healing modality, or if your purpose work is, you know, to get Heelys into the hands of 100 million people. I mean, I don't know, whatever it is that your purpose work is, if you're allowing yourself to be distracted from that by buying into programming and conditioning that is intended to keep you playing small and out of your power and unresourced, because that is all those distractions do, is they keep you from being fully in your purpose and being wildly financially compensated for doing your purpose work. They keep you unresourced, playing small, in fear, in scarcity, and in lack. That is how you choose into the new timeline. You choose to stop engaging and doing that behavior. And you choose to show up full-time every day in your purpose work, doing the work that you are meant to do in the world. And if you can't show up physically because you have another job, you show up 100% energetically, and you show up 100% emotionally, and you do what you need to do to get that purpose work out into the world. So this is the whole reason why I developed my program, Wealthy World Changer, which is starting on 26th, is this. I want you to understand how important it is right now that you choose to step into the new paradigm. I want you to understand how imperative it is that you realize that this new timeline, it's not about facts and figures and 10-step processes and all the old systems and structures of entrepreneurial business. It's not about that anymore. That is not how it works. It is energetic. It is accessing the quantum field. It is designing and creating your reality. It is getting yourself in full energetic alignment with the thing that you desire and the purpose work that you're meant to do in the world. And when I said, like, I understand that a lot of people, like, they don't have the tools, right? They don't have the tools. They haven't quite figured out how to get it out into the world. They haven't quite figured out how to, you know, some maybe haven't even figured out how to say no to the distractions and yes to the purpose work. Like, that is what we're going to be doing in Wealthy World Changer. But for me, it's like, do you know that you are here to do something big in the world? Do you know that you are meant for something greater than what you're doing right now? Are you tired of living in the old paradigm where you are being controlled with fear, where you are feeling lack, where you are feeling scarcity, where you are feeling like you are not safe, stable, or secure in today's global climate? Are you ready to move into a new paradigm? Because I will tell you, I am surrounded by dozens of people that are living and existing in this new timeline, and they are not living in fear, and they are not experiencing lack and scarcity. They are being wildly financially compensated for doing their purpose work in the world. They're finding it easy to show up from a place of excitement and purpose. They are experiencing states of overflow in all areas of their lives. They are truly experiencing what it means to be wealthy in all areas of their lives because they have chosen to engage fully in this new timeline. So that's what Wealthy World Changer is about. That's the work that we're going to be doing for 8 weeks. It is not, it is a business course We are going to be talking about business in this course, 1,000,000%. I'm going to be giving you tips and tools for doing business that is effective and impactful in the new paradigm. But this is about energetic alignment and learning to access the quantum realm to create in real time what you're desiring, because that is the reality of the new timeline. We don't have to wait. It doesn't have to take weeks. It doesn't have to take months. Like, we get to manifest the things that we desire in real time, but we have to choose into that, and we have to figure out how to make that leap right into the new timeline. So that's what Wealthy World Changer is about. It's an 8-week course. It's starting on the 26th. There's a regular course option and a VIP option that includes some wealth activations and a one-on-one session with me. If you want more information on Wealthy World Changer, send me a private message in Messenger and I will get you all the details. But you know, I've given you several things that you can do to start shifting into the timeline here on this live stream. So begin doing those things. Stop making excuses. Show up the way that you are meant to show up in the world. And I think that's it. I think that's all I have to say. I'm going to record a new episode of the podcast today. That's it. That's all I have. I was going to say something else, but I have nothing else to say. So have an amazing rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world as you are watching this live stream or you're watching the replay. And remember, it is your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life. You're so worthy and you are so deserving. And the time is now for you to step into your purpose work and go out and do that work in the world.